Dr. Shivani, speaker has joined. We can start.
नहीं वीडियो नहीं आ रही है इसमें.
Okay, ma'am.
वीडियो तो ऑन है. स्टार्ट हो गया. ओके.
Namaskar and welcome to today's session. This is Dr. Shivani Sharma, Assistant Professor in Rashastra Evam Bheshaj Kalpana, and I am thoroughly pleased to witness you all here. As we all know, Ayush Vibodhini webinar series is being conducted for the second time with the grace and hail blessings of our Chairman Sir, Engineer Amarjit Singh Walia, Principal Dr. Meenakshi Nath, and Vice Principal Dr. Mridu Sharma, who have motivated us all with their expertise and knowledge in every possible way. Exclusive thanks to the coordinators, Dr. Deepika, Dr. Sonika, Dr. Pooja, and Dr. Jyoti. Now, I request the Honorable Principal to kindly address the gathering and enlighten us with her words of wisdom. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shivani. Good morning, everyone, and welcome you all again to the fifth lecture of Ayush Vibodhini Series 2. This webinar series is being conducted by Srimati Urmila Devi Ayurvedic College, Hoshiarpur, in association with Sri Dhanvantri Herbals, Amritsar. Today's lecture deals with the backbone of our Ayurvedic Chikitsa. Yes, it is Ras Shastra and Bheshaj Kalpana. It is the very branch, legacy of which is established since its birth, and it is never ending. And for the second aim of Ayurveda, that is Aturasya Vikar Prashmanam, Chikitsak depends on this department only. Today's topic also deals with one of the most commonly used formulation, that is Bhasm. So I welcome Dr. Neha Arya, Associate Professor in the PG Department of Ras Shastra and Bheshaj Kalpana from Patanjali Ayurvedic College, Haridwar, with her wonderful topic, that is analytic methods of standardization of Bhasm. Ayush Vibodhini webinar series thanks you for sharing your knowledge and sparing your valuable time for all of us. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Neha Arya. Over to you, Dr. Shivani.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, on behalf of the college, the conducting authorities, and the faculty, I heartily welcome today's resource person, Dr. Neha Arya, who is working as Associate Professor at Patanjali Bharatiya Ayurvigyan Evam Anusandhan Sansthan, Haridwar. A very warm welcome, ma'am. We appreciate your kind presence here in spite of your such a busy schedule. I'm grateful to introduce that ma'am is UG from Sri Dhanvantri Ayurvedic College, Chandigarh, PG from NRS Government Ayurvedic Medical College, Vijayawada, and DDY from International Society for Naturopathy and Yoga, Delhi. His PG Diploma in Hospital Administration from Apollo Hospitals, Medvarsity, Delhi. Ma'am has worked as medical officer at Sri Dhanvantri Charitable General Hospital, Ahmedabad for 2 years. Has also been Senior Technical Associate in Ayurveda at CCIM, New Delhi. She has attended 3 CMEs, including 1 in AIIMS, has co-supervised 3 dissertation works, did 5 paper presentations, attended 10 workshops, and has many publications in international journals. Ma'am organized 3 webinars at Patanjali Ayurveda College, Haridwar. She has also got the Award of Excellence at Ayush Kamiya International Seminar held at Patanjali Yogpith, Haridwar, and has also got first prize twice at NRS GMC Vijayawada during her PG, and has also been awarded scholarship in BMS Final Professionals by Punjab University, Chandigarh. We are so pleased to welcome person of such an intellect among us. Coming to the topic of today's webinar, that is analytical methods in standardization of bhasmas. I request Dr. Neha Arya to kindly address the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, first of all, for such a nice introduction. Namaskar, Om Dhanvantare Namaha. A very good morning to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank everyone from Srimati Urmila Devi Ayurvedic College and Hospital, especially the chairman, Engineer Amarjeet Singh Walia, the principal, Dr. Minakshi Nath, Vice Principal Dr. Mridu Sharma, the organization, and my dear Dr. Shivani for giving me the privilege to be a part of this webinar series Ayush Vibodhini. Thank you very much. So starting with the today's session, first of all, I would like to share one thing that when I searched the topic Ayurveda on Google, what amazed me that how Wikipedia describes Ayurveda as pseudoscientific. It says that Ayurveda is an alternative medicine system with historical roots in Indian subcontinent. That is fine. The theory and practice of Ayurveda is pseudoscientific. When we scroll further down in Wikipedia section under classification and efficacy, it states that Ayurvedic medicine is considered pseudoscientific because its premises are not based on science. Both the lack of scientific soundness in the theoretical foundations of Ayurveda and the quality of the research have been criticized. They say that there is no evidence that any are effective in themselves, and Ayurvedic drugs contains toxic substances or interact with legitimate cancer drugs in a harmful way. So I realized that there is a big lacuna between Ayurveda and the modern science, and it is high time that we should come up with strong evidence-based research and also establish internationally recognized guidelines for assessing the quality of medicines. How quality control and standardization is the need of the hour. Actually, what were the activities which were followed in ancient times were that the Vaidya used to collect the drug by themselves. As we all know, they everything has been mentioned in our granthas, like the time for the procurement of a drug. Like they say that if we want to collect a Twak Kanshir, it should be collected in the Sharad Ritu, okay? And the part to be collected, that is the Prayojan, and the season plus the place of collection also have been mentioned. So where they used to collect the drug by themselves, they used to quality test it, and further the processing was also done by the Vaidya themselves, and they used to prepare the drug and dispense to the patient directly and within the therapeutic dose with proper anupan and pathya apathyas. But what practices are followed nowadays, that all these processing, starting from the collection of the drug to the processing and finished product, all is done by unskillful labors, and the collection is also done in large scale, processing is also done in large scale, which result in accountability is reduced as the work is done by the unskillful labors, and hence the quality of the product reduces. So hence it results in the inferior quality or substandard products, which reduces the efficacy of the product as well as the safety parameters. So how quality control and standardization plays a significant role, as we know that quality and safety are the most essential aspects and are the denominators of any product for their acceptance in the current scenario. In case of drug also it is absolutely true. WHO also emphasized the need to ensure the quality of the products by using modern control techniques and applying suitable standards. There must be some sort of uniformity in the manufacturing, statutory control to ensure standards of Ayurvedic drugs, and hence it is essential to establish internationally recognized guidelines for assessing the quality of the drugs. What actually the term quality means? The quality is the sum of all factors which contribute directly or indirectly to the safety, efficacy, and acceptability of the product. Okay, and the quality must be ensured at all three levels, starting from the raw material to the processing and to the finished product. And how does standardization plays a role in quality? We can say that standardization is an essential measurement for ensuring the quality. Simply, in simple words, we can say that it is a quality assurance program for production and manufacturing. So what is the need of standardization? Because Bhasma cannot be considered scientifically valid if the drug tested has not been authenticated, characterized, and standardized. And this standardization is essential at all three levels. As I already told, that it starts from the crude drug standardization, next the process standardization, and next is the finished product standardization. The finished product standardization means the final product, what for example Bhasma we have prepared, its quality has to be standardized. Next, the question arises that were the ancient seers were not familiar with the concepts of quality, toxicity, safety, and efficacy aspects of the drug? Indeed, they were. And they too have repeatedly stressed about these qualities in their respective classes. For example, they have mentioned that yoga dapi visham tikshnam uttamam bheshajam bhavet and bheshajam vapi duryuktam tikshnam sampadite visham. And also in the Rastarangini, there is a reference regarding Vatsnava. Visham bhavati piyusham means wish, which is Vatsna, which is wish, becomes nectar, becomes piyusham, matraya vinyojitam. If we use it proper, within proper therapeutic dose, tadev amatraya. If we increase the dose, if we give the formulation in more excess amount, then amatraya yuktam drutam ushnati jivitam. It takes away the life instantly. Okay, so visham bhavti piyusham. We are accepting that visham bhavti piyusham. If we divert ourselves from the quality control standardization, then the visha, the poison becomes the amrita becomes poison, and vice versa also. Further, regarding the standardization, our acharyas have mentioned about the identification, procurement, authentication, and documentation also. For example, if we take regarding identification, they have mentioned the grahai lakshanas of abhraka. Like grahai, agrahai lakshan, they have mentioned like agrahai lakshan of abhraka. If we take example, snigdam prithudalam varna sayuktam bharato adhikam means of what character, how abhraka should be collected. I mean, what are the qualities of a good abhraka? So it should be snigdha prithudalam. The layers can be separated easily. It should have wide layers. Varna sayuktam. It should be of black colored. Bharto adhikam. It should be heavy in weight. Sukh nirmoche patram. The layers can be collected easily, separated easily. Patram cha tad abhram shastamiritam. These qualities are of a Shrestha abhraka. Same like agrahai lakshan of hartal have been mentioned. Nishpatram, that it must if it has got no layers. Pinda sadrasham means if it is like a mass. Swalpa sattvam, if it has got alpa sattva. Tatha guru, if it is heavy. Stri pushpa haranam, it causes Stri pushpa haran. These are the qualities of a inferior abhraka. Inferior hartal. This hartal of this lakshana we must not collect. Okay, and they have specifically highlighted the importance of a bheshaj grahan niyojita purusha. What does a bheshaj grahan niyojit purush does? Who knows the name of all the drugs, follow purity mentally and physically, know many subjects and languages, and are to be made available in Rasshala for collection of the drug. Okay, and based on the method of collection, कैसे हमें द्रव्य का collection करना चाहिए, किस जगह से हमें करना चाहिए. Raj, regarding the reference of abhraka, we can take Raj hastad adhastad yat samanitam घने खने भवेत तदुक्तम फलदम नि सत्वम निष्फलम परम. मतलब कि we must collect abhrak from a depth greater than one rajhast. One rajhast is savahat or 30 inches. And if we collect abhraka lesser than this depth, that particular abhrak will be nisatva. It will not contain any sattva, and nishpalam. No efficacy will be seen if we use that this kind of abhraka for any formulation. And further, Regarding the place of collection, they have specified like Abhraka, for example, Abhraka must be collected from Him Shailotham Uttamama, means Abhraka collected from Himalayas is of best quality. Swarn Makshik Tapti Tira Sambhutam means Swarn Makshik which has been collected nearby Tapti Tir is of best quality. Tamra should be procured from Nepal, that is of best quality. Regarding Kangshi, it has been mentioned like it must be collected from the Saurashtra देश and based on काल किस समय में किस औषधि को कलेक्ट करना चाहिए. For example, if we take the example of Mandoor must be collected which is of 100 years old, that is called as सर्वश्रेष्ठ क्वालिटी, मतलब बेस्ट होता है जो 100 साल पुराना होता है. अगर वो 70 से 80 साल का है तो that is of मध्यम क्वालिटी, and if it is less than 60 years old it is adham. So one must take a Mandoor which is 100 years old. Okay, and based on source also, for example, Tuth, it is of two types, Swabhavaj and Kritrima. Further, they have specified the authentication of the drug. हम कैसे किसी धातु की प्योरिटी को पता कर सकते हैं. For example, Agnikshay has been mentioned in Yagyavalkya Samhita like Agnav Suvarnam Akshinam. मतलब if we place Suvarn gold in Agni, then it will remain अक्षीण in Agni. कोई भी loss नहीं होगा. And अगर वो रजत है, रजत pure है, if we place that in Agni, द्विपलम शते means 2 pal of loss will be seen out of 100 pala. Ashtav trapunshi sise cha, for 8 pal of loss will be seen for Nag and Vanga out of 100 pala. Cha tamram pancham dashayasi, for Tamra there will be a loss of 5 pala out of 100 pala, and for Loha Dhatu 10 pala of loss will be seen out of 100 pala. So they have specifically mentioned the means how to test any dhatu for its purity. And for Jwala Pariksha has also been mentioned, if we place a thin patra of any dhatu, like for example Kanake, so what color Jwala will appear like Kanake Pita. For a Swarna there will be peat colored yellow colored Jwala. For silver there will be white colored Jwala. And Shulve Neela Nibha Tikshne Krishna Varna, for Tikshna Loha Dhatu Krishna Varna Jwala will be seen. And further, last but not the least, documentation. Everything must be documented, and the stock must be maintained for up to 5 years. Later they have specified each and every step regarding the processing of any formulation, like starting with the Shodhana. Till now they have given details how to collect a drug, and of what quality drug must be collected, and how to store also. And later in the next step, which is, we can say that in our terms, that in the pradhan karma, okay, how the purification of that particular drug is done. And for different drugs, for different rasa dravya, different processes have been mentioned. For example, nirvap, for dhatu nirvap prakriya has been mentioned. For same for puti law dhalan prakriya has been mentioned. For sudha varkiya dravya we do shodhana with dolayantra swedan vidhi. Okay, like that different processes are mentioned depending on the physical and the chemical character or characteristic of that particular dravya. For example, here if we take the example of tamra dhatu, how to do vishesh shodhana. Also, they have mentioned the Samanya Shodhan Vidhi and the Vishesh Shodhan Vidhi. Samanya Shodhan Vidhi is the generalized the purification, which evades the general doshas of any dhatu varga. We can say, for example, dhatu Samanya Shodhan, we all know that Tale Takre Gava Mutre Yanale Kulathaje Kramat Nisheche Taptam Drave Dravedu Sabdada. Okay, this is the Samanya Shodhan, and they have mentioned the Vishesh Shodhan of each and every dhatu specifically to remove the specific Vishesh dosh present in that particular dhatu. For example, the Vishesh Shodhan of regarding the Vishesh Shodhan of Tamra, they have mentioned in Ras Ratna Samuche like Gomutren Pached Yamam Tamram Patram Dridam Agninam Shuddhete Na Atra Sandeho Maranam Chapit athochyate. They have specifically mentioned the shodhana dravya and for how much time we should do the purification and the process. Gomutren pachedyamam tamram patram drid agninam. We have to do pak of tamra patra in gomutra for yamam, it means for 3 hours. Okay. Further, in different process, they mention the levigation material, what we call as bhavna dravya, and the duration of the bhavna. हर किसी अगर किसी द्रव्य की भावना, किसी द्रव्य में हमें 7 भावनाएं देनी है, तो कैसे उसको यूज करना है, कितना लिक्विड हमें उस पर्टिकुलर भावना के लिए लेना है कि वो आर्द्र हो जाए. फर्दर हमें जब भावना हम देते रहेंगे तो हमें सुभावित लक्षण चेक करने हैं. सुभावित लक्षण कंप्लीट हो जाने पर ही हमें भावना रोकनी है, एंड दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज वन भावना. फर्दर नेक्स्ट भावना के लिए हमें ये सेम प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करना है विद अ फ्रेश लिक्विड. ओके. एंड ऐसे ही हमें अगर भस्म निर्माण करनी है तो भावना हमें देनी है. चक्री का निर्माण करके द प्रोसेस फॉर ये शराब संपुटीकरण एंड द लेटर ऑन द मेन पुटपाक प्रक्रिया इज टू बी फॉलोड. लाइक इन डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ puttas have been mentioned to like quantum of heat required for incineration for different ras dravya is different. Okay. And further they have mentioned the ashuddha dravya sevan janya dosh, ashuddha apakva avidhi sevan janya dosh. Specifically, if we see that they have specified that regarding the toxicity of any drug, like for example abhraka. If we if we don't do proper purification, if we do not follow standard manufacturing processes, or ashuddha apakva avidhi sevan janya. Avidhi sevan means if we do not prescribe the drug properly within therapeutic dose, without proper anupan, without proper pathyapatyas, the toxicity of that particular drug can be seen. For example, in case of abhraka, it has been mentioned yatha visham yatha vajram shastra agni pranaha bhavet bhakshitam chandrika yuktam bhakshitam chandrika yuktam abhrakam tadrisham gune. Especially they have mentioned the hazardous effect of ashuddha apakva bhasma on internal administration. Okay, like it takes away the life. If we use ashuddha dravya, apakva dravya, avidhi sevit janya dravya, it takes away life like a vish, vajra, shastra and agni. So they are accepting that proper manufacturing process, also the therapeutic the dose, all these factors, there are n number of factors, all these factors must be taken care of, and then only it must be used for internal administration to get to achieve their therapeutic efficacy. Otherwise they can take the life also, like vish, vajra, shastra and agni. For example, further they are saying that sevitam chandra sayuktam. We know that abhrak bhasma vishisht bhasma pariksha is nischandrata. Abhrak bhasma must be lusterless before being used for internal administration. So sevitam chandra sayuktam, if we use any bhasma, abhrak bhasma which is having luster, it causes meha and mandagni. Okay, and like that sa chandram vishvat geyam mrityukat vyagra romvat means abhrak bhasma which is having a luster can also cause death, and like vyagra romvat. Okay, they have specifically they are highlighting this point. Further, if not that, if some simple means adverse event happen, they have highlighted the treatment also. Like if some dosh occurs due to the ashuddha abhraka bhasma sevan, so one should ground umafal with water and must be taken for 3 days. The treatment has also been mentioned. And later on they have highlighted the toxicity of the tamra also, like na visham iti ahus tamram tu visham uchyate eko dosho vishe tamre tvashtau dosha prakirtita. They are saying that impure tamra is more poisonous, more dangerous than any other visha, because vish has got only one visha dosh, but this ashuddha apakva tamra bhasma is 8 times more hazardous than Visha, okay, and it can cause Brahma, Murcha, Vidaha, Swed, Kled, Vantaya, Aruchi, Chitta Santap, Ete, Dosha, Vishopama. These Lakshana are similar to that of a wish. So, Tamra Bhasma must be taken only if the Bhasma is properly tested before being used internally. Okay, and if we take this were the examples related to Bhasma, and if we take the example of any formulation also, and they have specified each and every point in detail, like the content of the drug, how many parts of that particular drug must be used, which part has to be used, okay, and the main process which needs to be followed, like in this case, in this formulation they are saying shuddham sutam samam gandham mritam tamram tayo samam. We need to take a shuddha suta, shuddha gandhak and mrita tamra bhasma. What if somebody takes amrita tamra bhasma ya apakva tamra bhasma? The toxicity of this formulation will be seen definitely, and we are not disagreeing with this point. We do use heavy metals, but we do proper processing before prescribing it to the patients. Okay, so the proper protocol must be followed, starting from the raw material to the processing and the finished product testing also. Okay, and in this also they are okay. If we need to do mardana with triflaquat and kakmachi द्रवी दिनम भी त्रिफलाक्वाथ और काकमाची द्रव से मर्दन करना है एक दिन के लिए, तो वो त्रिफलाक्वाथ और काकमाची का द्रव भी कैसे बनाना है वो दे आर ऑल्सो हाईलाइटिंग दैट पॉइंट ऑल्सो. काकमाची फलम कर्षम त्रिफला फल संयुक्तम. ओके, द्वात्रिंशत् तोलकम तोय क्वाथम अष्टव शेषितम अनुपानम पिबेच अत्र हृदरोगे च कफोतिते. मतलब वो क्वाथ बनाने के लिए वो द्रव्य से हमें 32 गुना ज्यादा जल लेना है, उसको 1/8 छोड़ना है, ऐसे क्वाथ का हमें मर्दन करना है. इस ये हमारे जो इसमें कंटेंट्स हैं उसको, तो दे हैव हाईलाइटेड ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट इन डिटेल. It is our duty to follow the procedure as mentioned in our granthas. And for the finished product also they have mentioned, our acharyas have mentioned regarding the bhasma parikshas and the siddhi lakshana, and neshto nyunadhika paka supakam hitam aushadha. Bhasma is considered good only when it is prepared up to the standards. Okay, we need supakva aushadhi, we need supakva bhasma, no, not nyun apakva apakva ya fir ati pakva, and it should pass all these tests like Bhasma Pariksha, like Unam, Uttam, Rekha Purnatva, Shlakshanatva. And further, what are the initiatives of Government of India? Okay, so Government of India has published different volumes of formulary and pharmacopoeia for Ayurveda that attempted on providing quality standards for few single drugs and compound formulations as well. Okay, and it is aimed to assure the identity, purity and strength of Ayurvedic medicines of international standards. Okay, now continuing further, we all know the process of bhasmikarana, the marana, how it is done. It is, first of all we need to do the proper shodhana of the dhatu. For example, dhatu bhasma we are preparing, पहले उसका हमें अग्रायता देके उस धातु को हमें कलेक्ट करना है. ओके, उसके बाद में उसका सामान्य शोधन करना है, उसका विशेष शोधन करना है. विशेष शोधन के बाद में उसकी प्रोसेसिंग करनी है, जिस लिक्विड से भावना देने के लिए बोला है वो करना है. उसके बाद में चक्री का निर्माण करनी है, संपुटीकरण करके पुट पाक करना है. तो अल्टीमेटली हमारे जो डिफरेंट अगर पुट दिए गए हैं, जिस भस्म के लिए जितने नंबर ऑफ पुट प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है उतने पुट दे करके लास्ट में हमें भस्म परीक्षा करनी है. So what is Maran or Bhasmikaran? It is a process in which bioincompatible substance is converted into biocompatible form by certain sanskara or processes. For example, Bhasma process, it converts metal from zero valent state to a form with higher oxidation state. Okay. It has got various steps like Shodhan, Bhavna and Maran. So what are the significance of these steps? First of all, starting with the significance of bhavna, it results in reduction of the particle size, and there is a uniform mixing of the material. Okay. Further, it facilitates a quick compounding of minerals and metals and expansion of the surface area of the reducing material. Further, coating of the organic material catalyst on the surface of the initial material and induction of organic properties in the inorganic bhasma. तो ये भावना के फायदे होते हैं. एंड फर्दर सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ शोधना. शोधना का क्या बेनिफिट्स है? पहला तो बेनिफिट वी नो दैट इट हेल्प्स इन रिमूवल ऑफ द दोषा. ठीक है. और जो उसकी थेरेप्यूटिक एफिकेसी होती है उस पर्टिकुलर ड्रग की, वो एनहेंस हो जाती है. To convert the hard and macro materials into soft, smooth and micro form. It makes the hard material more brittle, and it increases the quality and quantity of trace elements in the original material. Further, it also helps in reduction of the particle size and facilitates the Marana process. Okay. And further, main process, that is Marana, it helps in the conversion of metal into compound form and compound into some other compounds. Okay. And the bhasma becomes biocompatible and can be metabolized in the body, and we can see it can be absorbed, and its efficacy can be seen. So process effect during Marana is that particular metal is converted into its oxide or sulfide form. So techniques of standardization and analytical methods helps to ensure safety limits and accuracy of the drug, and it reveal out the chemical composition of the formulation as well as the concentration. Okay, so by observing the approximately equal values in all the batches, we can say that quality of that product has been maintained. So there are different methods for a standardization. There are some ancient methods, there are some advanced methods. We are very well aware of the ancient methods, and the advanced methods are analytical methods and physiochemical methods. For analytical methods, there are AS, XRD, SEM, TEM, FTIR, TGA, and PST. And for physicochemical methods, we can use ash value, total ash, acid insoluble ash, water soluble ash, etc. Okay, so parameters which have been emphasized in class 6 for evaluating quality of bhasma are the bhasma pariksha. Okay, but these are essentially qualitative. Okay, so physical, there are two types of tests, like physical test and the chemical test. Starting with the dhatu bhasma color, means the one of the dhatu, us dhatu ka kya color hona chahiye actually. So for example, in Yog Ratnakar reference is there that Swarna bhasma is of Garrick Varna, Rajat bhasma and Tamra bhasma Krishna Varna hota hai, Tikshna Law bhasma pak same Nishchandratva bhasma before there must not be Chandrika must not be present in that particular bhasma, especially it is a Vishisht bhasma pariksha for Abhraka. The bhasma must be varitar, mritam tarati yattohe, loham varitaram hitar. It must float on the water. Uttama, if we place a grain on the floating bhasma, that grain also must not submerge in the water, and it must also float like Hans. And Rekha Purnata, Angushta Tarjini, Sansprishtam, Rekha Purna Abhidhanita. Lakshanatva, the bhasma must be a very smooth in texture. Sukshma, it must be converted into a very fine powder so that it can enter the fine lines of the finger also. It must be like Anjana Sannibha, so that it does not cause any irritation to the mucous membrane of the GIT tract on internal administration. And Gat Rasatvam, tasteless. It must be tasteless. उसकी स्वादु होनी चाहिए भस्म. And test for chemical characterization, जो chemical test classics में mention किए गए हैं, like अपुनर्भव, निरुद्ध and निर्धूम. अपुनर्भवता मतलब कि मित्र पंच के साथ में जब हम पुटपाक करेंगे तो there should not be any change, like the not getting back to the original form. The dhatu must not get back to its original form. and Niruth means not getting up. If we do put pak with the if we do put pak of bhasma with a gold with a silver coin, the weight of the coin must not reduce or increase. Further, nirdhumata, it is the Vishisht Bhasma Pariksha for Hartal. If we place few grams of bhasma on Agni, it must be Dhuma Varjita. Smoke must not be produced. Okay, so Sadhumam Namritam Prahur with the Vaidyaiti Sthiti. So these are some of the tests which can be done to test the quality of the bhasma, whether it is supakva or not. Okay. So, but there are some drawbacks of classical Bhasma Parikshas. Although we agree that these are excellent and time tested, but these are predominantly qualitative because it does not, there is a lack of knowledge regarding the structural and chemical aspects of the Bhasma. Okay. उस पर्टिकुलर भस्म में उसके जो पार्टिकल्स हैं उसका क्या स्ट्रक्चर है, उसका केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशन क्या है, हमें ये नहीं पता चलता है. हमें बस यही पता चलता है कि हाँ जो भस्म है इट हैज बीन रिड्यूस टू अ नैनो पार्टिकल साइज, बिल्कुल नैनो पार्टिकल साइज में हो गई है. बट वो जो केमिकल टेस्ट है अपुनर्भवता और निरुद्धता, उससे हमें पता चलता है कि इट इज नॉट रिएक्टिंग, इट इज मृत, बट द स्ट्रक्चरल एंड केमिकल एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द भस्म इज नॉट नोन. ओके, एंड फर्दर द एंशिएंट मेथड्स बिकम्स inadequate for the characterization of bhasma for global acceptability. So here there is a need to do different modern analytical techniques so as to analyze herbomineral compounds. There are various techniques like SEM, EDEX, TEM, ICP-MS, XRD, XPS, FTIR, AAS, NMR, XRF, and so on. So these are both qualitative and quantitative tests. We can know about the composition of that particular bhasma also. Okay, and likewise there are some physico-chemical evaluation methods like loss on drying, total ash value, acid insoluble ash, water soluble ash, particle size, and mesh test. Okay, so what is the permissible limit of heavy or toxic metals as mentioned in the API? So for cadmium it is 0.3 parts per million, for mercury it is 1, for arsenic it is 3 ppm, and for lead it is 10 ppm. So in our final bhasma, these the level of heavy metals should be under these limits. So today we are going to focus on one very important but not much discussed qualitative analytical test that is called as the Namburi phased spot test, NPST. It is a technological innovation of qualitative analysis for standardization of Ras Aushadhi developed by late Dr. Namburi Hanumant Rao in 1970s, and it has been accepted by CCRAS New Delhi. Okay, what actually this test is? It is a qualitative analytical spot test based on chemical reaction for assessing the quality of various Ayurvedic preparations, especially the Sindoor and Bhasma. And what is the advantage of this test over classical Bhasma Parikshas? That the classical test cannot differentiate between the bhasmas chemically, but in NPST the test is chemical reaction based, and with specific results for specific bhasma we can differentiate between bhasma clearly, and it is helpful for the quality assessment of bhasma as per the standards of Ras Shastra. So the quality of the bhasma can be checked before being used therapeutically. So what is the principle for this test? When a drop of clear solution of a substance under examination is put on specially prepared paper, a spot appears which manifests as a series of colors and pattern changes. Okay, and the NPST test results depend upon the pattern and color of the spot which develops after a specific chemical reaction at 3 successive phases spread over 3 different time intervals. And the drug is subjected to the test and the results to be compared with the standard NPST of that particular drug. So this is the paper, the result, the sample, the reagent paper, and the color display that needs to be compared with the result which we have got for our drug, for our experimental drug. So how, if for example, if we want to do the NPST of Ras Sindoor, how we have to do that? So the material methods, in material methods, first step is to prepare the Ras Sindoor. Okay, or we can take if we want to prescribe Ras Sindoor to a patient in our clinic. But before that, we want to qualitatively analyze that Ras Sindoor. Okay, we want assurance that the Ras Sindoor taken from this particular pharmacy is of quality. SMP has been followed, so we can do NPST test for that Ras Sindoor. Okay, take, or if we are preparing ourselves, we can take that Ras Sindoor also. Okay, or we can take market samples. So first step is preparation of the Ras Sindoor. Second step is preparation of chemical reacting paper. Okay, and for that we need to have potassium iodide. Okay, and 100 ml of distilled water. First we need to prepare 10% of potassium iodide solution. Okay, we will mix 10 gram of potassium iodide in 100 ml of distilled water. Okay, and stir it properly. Later on, what we need is Whatman filter paper 1. Whatman filter paper 1. We have to dip this Whatman filter paper 1 in this 10% potassium iodide solution for 2 minutes, because we are preparing the chemical reacting paper. Okay, so we have to dip that Whatman filter paper 1 in this 10% potassium iodide solution for 2 minutes, and then remove it, and then keep it for drying in shade. Okay, our next step is to prepare the solution. Okay, and if we want to test NPST, we will see this table. Like here it has been mentioned for Sindoor, we need the paper that is 10% potassium iodide paper and aqua regia, and the color will be brick red. Okay, so here we need to prepare aqua regia. Okay, for aqua regia, 3 ml of HCl is to be mixed with 5N-HNO3. 5N-HNO3. And how to prepare that 5N-HNO3? We need to mix 35 ml of acid with 65 ml of distilled water. Okay, and stir it continuously, and like this aqua regia can be prepared. So what is the next step? The actual procedure for the NPST starts here. We will take 1 gram of Ras Sindoor, whether it is prepared by ourselves or market sample, in a test tube. Okay, and we will add 2 ml of freshly prepared aqua regia drop by drop in this test tube, and the test tube must be left undisturbed for 30 minutes. Okay, and after 30 minutes, the test tube must be heated gently for a minute, and then we have to place it again undisturbed for 48 hours. And in between this period, test tube can be shaken for some time. Okay, and after 48 hours, what we can see, the residue will settle down in the bottom, and there will be a clear supernatant fluid. We have to take this clear supernatant liquid fluid in a dropper and pour 1 drop of solution on this 10% potassium iodide paper. We need to put 1 drop of that liquid in this potassium iodide paper. After that, we have to observe the color changes of paper in 3 different stages. The color changes of the paper observed in 3 different phases, like phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Okay, the first phase lasts from 0 to 5 minutes, and the second phase starts from 5 to 10 to last from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, and the third phase lasts from 20 minutes to 1 day. Okay, and we need to observe this paper for 3 phases. For example, in the phase 1, which lasts from 0 to 5 minutes, there in the observation we see that there is a brick red solid spot with dark brown periphery is seen. Okay, and in the second phase, dark brown periphery fades away slowly, and in the third phase, the dark brown periphery fades away with great extent. But here we have definitely got the brick red color, and as per these results are as per the standard of NPST. So here we can compare it with the standards. In Sindoor, they said that the paper is 10% potassium iodide paper and aquaregia needs to be used, and the color display will be brick red color. If we have to take Rajata, for example, if we are taking Rajata, if we want to test qualitatively test Rajata Bhasma, then we need to take 10% potassium iodide paper, and the solution will be concentrated HNO3, and on the Whatman filter paper the color display will be cream to yellow color. Okay, and for Tamra, the color display will be chocolate color. For Sudha, it will be pink color. For Loha, blue color. And what if we are if I am testing in Loha Bhasma and I am getting brick red color? So I will be assured that this Loha Bhasma is apakva, ashuddha, or some misbranded drug. Okay, so I like this I can qualitatively analyze the quality of the Bhasma. And for Abhraka, blue color must be displayed, for Kajli brick red color, for Sindhuras brick red color, and so on. So in conclusion, we can say that NPST, it is a simple test that can be carried out without minimum setup and requirements. Okay, so we can do the Bhasma Pariksha, and the classical parameters can be checked. And if we want to go from highly sophisticated methods for the qualitative analysis of the drugs that are really costly sometimes, so it is a simple test that can be carried out without much requirement and minimum setup. Okay, and this technique is very useful for qualitative assessment of Bhasma Sindoor, and it as per the standards of Ras Shastra. And CCRS has also accepted the monograph of NPST, and so the quality of Bhasma Sindoor can be checked before being therapeutically used. So with this, I conclude my lecture. Over to you, Dr. Shivani.
Such a wonderful lecture, ma'am. NPST is a new concept and you really explained it so well. Thank you so much for sharing your immense knowledge. It was highly valuable for all of us. So with this, we conclude today's webinar. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.